Do you know what the most uncomfortable feeling was that I needed to normalize in my body in order to heal the fearful avoidant attachment style? I will tell you in this video. I am Pauline Timmer. I am fully specialized in healing the fearful avoidant attachment style. I've helped over 3,000 fearful avoidants heal in the past 7 years after healing it myself. And I am so happy you are here, because if you've told me that it was this feeling that I needed to normalize in my body in order to heal faster, more, I would not have believed you. I don't even think I had a problem with it. The feeling that I'm talking about is power. The feeling of power, being powerful. And why that is such a challenge for fearful avoidance. I think fearful avoidance can come across as powerful because they tend to get angry and they tend to lash out, and that seems powerful, but I have not yet met a fearful avoidant that feels powerful. Pretty much all fearful avoidants feel very powerless, feel like they don't really have any influence on their feelings or their lives or anything, and they are afraid of their power. Because when you were younger, you probably were not safe in being powerful. Chances are that you had a fearful avoidant parent, and fearful avoidant parents equate their kid being powerful to them losing control. And that is a thing that fearful avoidant parents just fear a lot, not more than anything, but they do fear it. And so what you learn as a child growing up with a fearful avoidant parent is power is not safe. It is much safer to submit, to feel powerless, than it is to actually stand in your power and feel powerful. That is one reason. You may hear this and think, but I do feel strong. Like, I am not weak. I have a trigger around weakness, which really, really does make sense, because that is another thing that a lot of fearful avoidance parents install in you. You are not allowed to be powerful, but you're also not allowed to be weak, because weak is not good. Weak is vulnerable. Vulnerable is not good. So there's a trigger around being weak too, and that's how you get into the strong and struggling sweet spot. I will make a whole another video on that. Where you are struggling with something, but you are very strong in that. That is not the same as being powerful. Being strong while struggling is not the same as being powerful. Looking as if you're strong is not the same as being powerful. Being physically strong is not the same as being powerful. So what is the difference? Being powerful means that you know that you can change your life, can change your behavior, can change your thoughts, that you have an influence, that you are capable of anything that is necessary to get to the place where you need to go. And you can be very strong, and feel utterly powerless at the same time. So this feeling of power feels very threatening, partly because it was just installed when you were younger, that when you felt powerful, when you said no in a strong voice, in a powerful voice, when you stood up for your own wants and needs and desires, that probably got dismissed. And that's putting it mildly. Your fearful avoidant parent may have lashed out, may have tried all kinds of tactics to control you, to get you to submit, pretty much. And so what you've learned is, I would be more safe if I just am not powerful. What that leads to is you being grown up feeling like your thoughts are the truth and you should listen to your thoughts when they tell you to do things or not. Your feelings are the truth and you don't have any influence on your feeling. You constantly have this feeling that you should be doing something, you should be better, you should stay in the relationship, leave the relationship, feel more, have more feelings in the relationship. It always feels like there's this threat and you have to adjust, like you have to change and you don't have an influence on that. And so this is where power comes into play, because you, I was just thinking, power play is obviously also a fearful avoidant thing. I might get back to that. But you being powerful and you knowing that you can lead your thoughts and lead your feelings will take away so much of the struggle and the suffering that you're going through right now. Because when you feel powerless in what is happening inside of your body, feeling like the thoughts you're having are wrong and you shouldn't have them, but you're powerless to change them because that's not realistic to control your thoughts, to either have these thoughts and not the other thoughts that you don't want, or to have positive feelings and not negative feelings. That's wanting to control your thoughts and your feelings. That's a powerless way of looking at your thoughts and feelings. The powerful way is to know that you can't control your thoughts and feelings, but you can lead them. You are the one that makes a choice, and your thoughts and your feelings can follow that. You can change your thoughts, you can change your beliefs, you can change your feelings, you can change your identity, you can change pretty much anything. But if you feel powerless, you're not going to do that easily. You're not going to allow yourself to do that. You're going to have a lot of resistance in doing that. So one of the reasons you have that is because it was trained. It was just negative associations around you being powerful when you were younger. Another reason is that you probably already feel like you are messing up a lot, that you will mess up, that you hurt other people. A lot of fearful avoidants grow up with the idea that just them being themselves will hurt other people. And that is a very, very sad belief to have, because it just keeps you from what you also want, which is connection and love. And one of the things you do as a fearful avoidant then to not hurt other people is to make yourself powerless. Allowing power, the feeling of power to be there, means that you need to deal with your fear of hurting others, with your fear of not being a good person, because power amplifies. And when you have that belief of, I am a bad person, I hurt other people when I'm just being me, when I'm just being myself, you will never allow yourself to be powerful. And when you never allow yourself to be powerful, you will struggle, because you will find yourself in powerless situations again and again. To have that feeling of powerlessness that in a way feels more safe. Are you still following? I can understand if this is like a bit much. But it's so important. It's so important to know that that feeling of power feels so threatening and you can have so much resistance to it. And yet it is one of the most important things to allow. I can imagine when you started this video, you thought maybe it's anger. I should allow anger. And it's not any of the negative emotions, because those are normal for a lot of fearful avoidance. I remember when I was in a crash state, all the negative emotions, fear, sadness, or sadness, not even really, I wasn't allowed to cry, but fear, anger, resentment, you know, all those emotions, shame, guilt, I was very, very familiar with those. They felt normal to my system. And so I didn't need to normalize those. I needed to normalize the positive ones. Those didn't feel normal to my system. There was a lot of resistance around that. But for a lot of those positive ones, being happy, feeling in love, just, you know, the positive feelings, there was some sense of this is good. And it's kind of weird that I feel so much resistance to it, but in at the core, these feelings are good. With power, that just felt really threatening, destructive. Whereas allowing happiness or allowing gratefulness or things like that, negative associations came up, but they were more in the sense of, if I allow myself to be happy, I won't pay attention and something will happen. If I allow myself to be grateful, things will be taken away. Power felt like I would be a liability to the world, to the people around me. And so it was one of the hardest ones to allow myself to feel and to normalize that feeling in my body. As I was healing, as I started healing, I felt like the resistance I felt around these feelings meant that I shouldn't be feeling them. I wasn't allowed to feel them. And as I got on in my healing journey, and this was actually quite towards the end, I realized that that resistance that I was feeling was absolutely not telling me to not feel this. It was to kind of train my body in allowing this feeling to be there. And I had to release a lot of negative associations around power, to believe that I am not a bad person, that I won't hurt people just by being myself. And so that my power amplified would be okay. It would be um, it would be safe for me and for people around me. And when I did that, so much changed. When I allowed myself to feel powerful, that's when I really like made a leap in healing. That's when I started to allow myself all the beautiful things in life. That's when I really could build a life that I wanted. Before that, I would have wanted that, but I just never thought that I could. That's the powerlessness part of it. So normalizing these feelings is just so important. And what I started doing was surge training. That's what I kind of called it, because power feels like a surge of power through your body. It's like voltage, watts. And in the beginning, I could only allow a little bit of power. And I trained myself to allow more and more and more power. Um, and I keep training myself to do that, because with power, allowing myself to feel powerful, I feel more safe in the world, which is a great thing to have. Um, I can lead my life in the direction that I want it to go. And I find it very important to feel powerful in what I do, because if I would be doing this, would be helping you from a powerless place, I would not be helping you. And so it is it has taken a lot for me to get to a place where I feel powerful, where I can actually allow all the beautiful things that come to me through this work, through my life, allow them in and receive them. And power has been the most important feeling in allowing all the beautiful things in. So power is such an important feeling to be able to sustain in your body. And it makes total sense if you're not able to do that yet. If you feel like you collapse when you feel powerful one moment and then you just don't feel powerful at all, it makes sense if you have those negative associations. So it's healing those negative associations, and then it's surge training. So allowing that surge in your body to grow more and more powerful. If you want to know more about this surge training, I will make a whole video about that, because it's really a really powerful way to start to allow all the positive feelings in your body. I will make a video about that. But if you want it, let me know in the comments below, and I'll bump it up on the list. I am curious what you think of this. And as always, I am happy you are here, and I will see you in the next one. Healed and Happy is a tailor-made online program where me and my team personally guide you through healing the roots of a fearful avoidant attachment style.